In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on January 6th, 2026, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Los Angeles Lakers versus New Orleans Pelicans. The Lakers are still missing Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent, while the Pelicans have Saddiq Bey ruled out and Herbert Jones listed as questionable. So both teams come in a bit patched together, even if the spotlight is clearly brighter on Los Angeles. The Lakers have not been playing anywhere near their top level recently, and losing Reeves and Hachimura hurts them on both ends, yet they are still favorites against a Pelicans team that has gone ice cold with 8 straight losses. Honestly, that says as much about New Orleans' slump as it does about any faith in the Lakers right now. LeBron James just reminded everyone that he can still carry a team when needed, dropping 31 and 26 points against the Memphis Grizzlies as the Lakers swept that little 2-game homestand. Now they head to New Orleans, hoping their veteran star can put together another strong performance as they keep navigating life without a couple of really important supporting pieces. With Vincent, Hachimura, and Reeves all sidelined, it would usually be a huge blow to the offensive flow, but when you have a player of that caliber at the top of the roster, you can still patch over a lot. The Pelicans do not have that same kind of single offensive engine to lean on, and their recent 7-game slide reflects that. After that surprising 5-game win streak in the middle of December, everything has gone downhill, with opponents scoring almost whenever they want and New Orleans struggling to get consistent stops. In only one of those losses did they hold an opponent under 120 points, and on the other side, they are averaging just 114 points per game, which sits as the 6th lowest mark in the league. From a betting angle, they have not inspired much trust either, covering just once in their last 7 outings. This matchup has been tilted toward the team in purple and gold for quite a while. The Lakers have taken the last 8 meetings and have covered in 9 of the last 12 against the Pelicans. In games at the Smoothie King Center, they are 5-1 straight up across their last 6 visits, which is a pretty loud trend. Just when it looked like New Orleans might finally be turning a corner, they are sitting at 0-7 straight up and against the spread in their last 7. Add in that the Pelicans have already dropped 16 games at home, and it becomes really tough to back them with any real confidence. The Lakers, on the other hand, have put together a solid week, and there is at least some chatter that Vincent could return as a useful depth piece. They have won 9 of the last 10 games against the Pelicans, have not lost to them since December 2023, and both meetings this season have ended in double-digit wins. Anything short of another convincing victory for Los Angeles would feel like a genuine surprise in this spot. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Lakers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Los Angeles Lakers are averaging 116.9 points on 49.9% shooting from the field and allowing 117.3 points on 49% shooting. They are hitting 34.6% of their threes and 78% at the free throw line, while giving up 38.3% shooting from beyond the arc and collecting 40.9 rebounds per game. The New Orleans Pelicans are averaging 115.6 points on 46.1% shooting and allowing 123.1 points on 48.8% shooting. They are shooting 34.1% from deep and 79% from the line, and they are allowing 35.7% from 3 while grabbing 43.4 rebounds per contest. Put together, you have 2 defenses allowing high percentages from the field, one of them especially vulnerable on the perimeter, and 2 offenses that can still put points on the board at a steady clip. New Orleans' recent form, where they rarely hold anyone under 120, fits the idea of a game that tilts toward offense more than defense, especially if their own scoring hovers around that mid-100 teens range again. With the Lakers' efficiency and top-end talent on offense, plus the Pelicans' tendency to give up big totals, this sets up more naturally for long stretches of trading baskets than for a slow, grinding, defensive struggle. That kind of rhythm usually favors a higher final score rather than a low one. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. San Antonio Spurs versus Memphis Grizzlies. The Spurs are still missing Devin Vassell, with Victor Wembanyama listed as questionable for this one, while the Grizzlies have ruled out Zach Edey, Ty Jerome, Brandon Clark, and John Conchar, and Ja Morant is sitting on the injury report as questionable. On paper, San Antonio is actually the healthier group right now, and they are also the side playing the better basketball at the moment, which is not something you could say for them most of last season. If Morant cannot go, Memphis becomes much easier to guard, because they are already without so many solid rotation pieces and creators. That is a lot of shot creation and ball handling stripped away, and it shows up in how hard they have to work just to generate clean looks. Life without Wemby continues for the Spurs as they head to Memphis for their third and final regular season meeting with the Grizzlies. Joining Wembanyama on the sidelines will be Devin Vassell, another important part of what San Antonio likes to do, and he is averaging 15 points per game this season. So the natural question is whether the Spurs can cope without both of those key pieces. According to the original framing, it will be up to De'Aaron Fox to carry the load here, and he has supposedly done a solid job in games without Wembanyama, averaging almost 24 points per game compared to under 20 per game when Wembanyama is in the middle. He has already had two really strong outings against Memphis this season, and dealing with that mix of speed and finishing would be a serious challenge for the Grizzlies' defense. On the Memphis side, the defense has really slipped in their last 4 games, where they have allowed 120, 128, 139, and 116 points to the Lakers twice, the Sixers, and the Wizards. In contrast to the Spurs, their injury list is longer and more damaging, and even if Morant suits up, there are real doubts that his presence alone can fix their defensive problems. Outside of Jaren Jackson Jr., nobody on this Grizzlies roster has delivered consistently game to game, and it kind of feels like they are creeping toward a point where a full reset might be coming. San Antonio is the more stable team right now, and the matchup trends lean their way too. They have covered in 10 of the last 15 meetings and have a convincing 7-1 straight-up record in their last 8 road games. They have also gone 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 trips to FedEx Forum. For the season, the Spurs are 21-14-1 against the spread and have been steady both at home and on the road. Over their last 10 games, they are 7-3 straight up and 7-3 against the spread, which is a big shift from their reputation as an easy fade. The Grizzlies are still extremely banged up and have dropped 4 straight, with very little rhythm on either end. The winner in 9 of the last 10 meetings between these teams has also covered the number, and home court has not really saved Memphis, with a 7-9 straight-up record in their own building. Putting that all together, the Spurs look like the more trustworthy side to both win and cover as favorites in this spot. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Antonio Spurs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The San Antonio Spurs are averaging 120 points on 48.3% shooting and allowing 114.2 points on 46.5% shooting. They are knocking down 35.8% of their threes, hitting 79.4% from the free throw line, and pulling in 46.2 rebounds per game. The Memphis Grizzlies are averaging 115.9 points on 45.7% shooting while allowing 116.6 points on 46.4% shooting. They are shooting 35% from beyond the arc and 80% from the free throw line, and they are allowing 36.3% from deep while also grabbing 46.2 rebounds per game. On the surface, those scoring and efficiency numbers look like they would lean toward a higher total, especially with both teams allowing opponents to shoot in the mid-40s from the field and mid-30s from deep. But there are a couple of important wrinkles baked into the original read that push this more toward an under angle. Key offensive pieces are either out or questionable on both sides, which can slow games down in practice, even when the raw averages look big. Without Wembanyama and Vassell, San Antonio is missing a lot of shot creation and spacing, and that can lead to more half-court grinding and fewer easy points. Memphis has a long injury list of its own, and with Morant not fully certain, it is fair to question how often they can get out in transition or really push the tempo. Both teams also share the same rebounding average at 46.2 boards per game, which hints at a lot of possessions ending in one shot, and a rebound rather than second and third chances. If this turns into one of those games where both sides feel the absence of their main creators and spend more time probing than flying, the pace can naturally dip and the scoring can flatten out. That sort of environment, with wounded offenses and some potential for sloppier, slower stretches, fits better with a lower combined total rather than a track meet. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Dallas Mavericks versus Sacramento Kings. The Mavericks are still without Kyrie Irving, Dante Exum, Derek Lively II, and PJ Washington, while the Kings have Domantas Sabonis and Keegan Murray ruled out. So both teams are coming in patched together, but in very different moods. Dallas had been in a pretty rough stretch before that surprising upset of the red-hot Rockets in their last outing. A win like that, especially when nobody really expects it, can give a locker room a little jolt of confidence, even if it does not magically fix all the problems. The reality is still what it is. The Mavs sit 10 games below a .5 record, and they are just 15-21 against the spread so far this season. Sacramento has its own issues, but there are some steady angles that are hard to ignore. 5 of their 8 wins have come at home, which at least tells you their own building still gives them a bit of a boost. They also upset these same Mavericks a couple of weeks ago as 3-point underdogs, and that result did not come completely out of the blue. The Kings have actually taken 4 of the last 5 head-to-head, so recent history leans their way. Meanwhile, Dallas is just 3-7 straight up and 2-8 against the spread in its last 10 games. That is not the kind of trend that suddenly makes you excited to back them as road favorites, especially when they are missing so many important pieces. You do not have to be in love with Sacramento to see the problem. Asking a short-handed Mavericks team that has struggled for weeks to win by margin on the road feels like a stretch. Laying a decent chunk of points with that profile is a tough sell, and honestly, it sounds worse the more you sit with it. If one side has to keep this thing close, the Kings catching points at home with the matchup trends in their favor still make much more sense. As our first pick for this matchup, the Sacramento Kings to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Dallas Mavericks are averaging 113.6 points on 46.6% shooting from the field and allowing 117.4 points on 46.2% shooting. From beyond the arc, they are hitting 33.4%, and they are at 76% from the free throw line. They are allowing opponents to shoot 33.1% from deep and pulling down 44.5 rebounds per game. The Sacramento Kings are averaging 110.9 points on 46.1% shooting and giving up 122.3 points on 49.7% shooting. They are shooting 34.8% from three-point range and 76.2% from the stripe, while allowing 36.2% from deep and grabbing 40.7 rebounds per contest. Put all that side by side and you get a pretty clear picture of two defenses that bend and often break, especially Sacramento's. Dallas gives up plenty of points and a healthy field goal percentage, and Sacramento gives up even more while letting opponents shoot almost 50% from the floor. That kind of defensive profile tends to create long stretches where both teams find rhythm, because even half-decent offensive execution turns into quality looks. The shooting numbers from 3 and the free throw lines are solid enough on both sides that any whistle-heavy stretch or brief barrage from the perimeter can push the total upward in a hurry. Rebounding is tilted toward Dallas, which can mean extra possessions and second-chance points, while Sacramento's shaky defense often invites opponents to stay aggressive instead of backing off. With neither team profiling as a group that consistently drags games into a half-court grind, it is much easier to imagine a fast enough pace and clean enough looks for this matchup to land on the higher side of the projected number. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.